In order to animate from imagination, you need to make a motion profile. And what that is a breakdown of the mechanics, timing and spacing, and story of a motion. You've seen these before. Likely the motion profiles you're familiar with come from the book The Animator Survival Kit. They look something like what I have in front of me. So this is a motion profile for a running animation. We have the kickoff right here. So each pose in a run has its name. This is the kickoff. Then we have the contact pose, right? And that's the beat. Each time the foot contacts the ground, we call that a beat. We haven't talked about beats and rhythm yet. We will soon. Then we have the passing pose right here and the up pose. How does this help us? Well, basically, instead of looking at reference for every time we animate, which can be time consuming, we make a motion profile like this one, go into a project and allow our imagination to transform our reference. We can now rely fully on our creativity because we've memorized and absorbed this reference. In order to animate something well, you kind of have to know how to do it. I'm actually going to use today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is a massive online learning community where you can learn about all sorts of topics, skills, and disciplines right from the comfort of your own home. Now, I had so many ideas of what I wanted to animate today, from spinning pottery on a wheel. Playing the violin was another idea I had, but this one class did catch my eyes, House Dance Masterclass. This teacher breaks down these different dances mechanically. He shows you a demonstration of how to do the dance, but then also very quick, brief breakdown of how it works. Perfect for making a mechanics profile. I'm just gonna start by observing this carefully, the entire motion, so I can get a sense of what he's doing. And then I'm gonna go ahead and start with my first rest position for my mechanics profile. These are sort of my keyframes. I wanna get the story down first before I get into the deep mechanics of the motion. Okay, so I see that he starts standing up. Weight kind of equally balanced. See, he crouches down first before going to that first position. We try to get a full body view of it. I'm seeing this rhythm here, kind of like a hook shape. I'm going to go ahead and make these all much smaller so I can fit more poses on the page. So last time it was this right here. I want to highlight that in my profile, the gesture. Now this time it's going to be the opposite one. I want to definitely get some shape continuity in here. And there's a little bit of bounce as well here. So I know there's going to be, I want to put myself a down and then up. This is going to be an extreme. And so in between these poses, go from here to there. I know in between these is going to be a compression. He's going to wind up. The cool thing about this is that after this, I actually might try this dance because it's actually very simple. This video is only 58 seconds, and the way he breaks it down is very easy to understand. So here's my motion profile of the crisscross dance so far. Let me just name this crisscross. And so it seems like we have a resting position. We have our compression that comes in between. It's like a jump. It's a short hop, not too much air. Let's try to, I'm going to space out these, and I'm going to get my tension and compression in between these key poses. Now, if you're wondering how to draw gestures, if these gestures aren't easy for you, check out my video on my 3-step gesture drawing guide. We did that in Clip Studio Paint as well, so you might enjoy that. Do that. So this will be a curve, and this will be a straight like that to give it some more contrast. Yeah, let's make the front leg a straight. So this is a rest position. You know, we talked about the spring effect. If you don't know what that means, you want to check out that video out as well. The legs are going to move inward, and they're going to cross each other. So what I'm going to do, I actually can still see this rhythm starting to form. So I'm just going to add a subdued version of it as this air time frame. We're going to get another air pose. So this is going to be the air pose for when he's transitioning back to a rest position. So I had this sort of rhythm for the rest position. And so in the air, I'm just going to subdue that, right? So we're just going to manipulate that. If you're not sure how to do shape manipulations, check out my video on shape manipulation. I'll link it right here. We'll draw that compression too. The reason I'm not really prioritizing it, because I know it's going just to be some sort of manipulation of this pose right here, so I'm not really too worried about how it's going to look. All right, and let's just get the last up position. Okay, that one looks pretty cool. Let's get exactly that. So now, yep, the pose is reversing this way. So I'm getting this gesture. It looks like he's just doing a little bit of a freestyle with the arms as well. Also gonna have a compressed overshoot of this pose, so I can really push it. Okay, so let me just make sure I'm accurate when it comes to his preparing for jumps. It's important to get that because I see that he's swinging his arms up first. Arms equal first, compress pose. Alright, so that seems to be pretty much it. So now we have a rough motion profile of a crisscross dance. You can get more refined than this, but we can go ahead and just sort of lab this on our character. Animate it from imagination. Now I'm just going to turn these lower layers off so we can animate completely from imagination now. When you do this, you're actually animating at the speed of thought, pacing your thinking based on your motion profile. I bet you that a lot of you who animate walk cycles out there, you probably don't use reference. We probably memorized that very popular page from the Animator Survival Kit, and pretty much when you know, after that, you know how to animate a walk cycle. I still encourage you to use reference if you want to get a more specific walk, but that's what motion profiles are for. We don't always want to use reference. We don't always have the time. So we download as much as we can, use our imagination to do the rest. So this will be my first pose. Boom. Bow. This is actually really fun. That's in the background. That's going back. So I just want to make sure perspective-wise, this is going back. This is going forwards. So anytime two lines are coming away from each other, that's coming towards you. If they're going towards each other, then they're going backwards. That's just some basic visual language for communicating perspective. All right, now we're going to get the next rest pose. A little different than the first one. And it was this S, right? So maybe we can make the next rest pose an opposite S. I'm just assuming. I don't know if that's going to work. And then the next pose. So this was this way. So that's the rhythm. And then next we're going to go, okay, let's see, this way. Boom. And remember he had his arms up in the next one, right? So we can add a little bit of variation. Let's put this one down and this one up. Ba, ba. Oh, that looks pretty cool. That actually looks really cool. So animating from imagination can be fun, huh? Boom, bow, boom, bow. We haven't talked about rhythm and beats. We're going to talk about it sometime in the future. This would be my beat. Beats are just a point of emphasis in a movement, right? So when we're making motion profiles, we just want to get those points of reference, points of emphasis. Everything that you look at has rhythm and beats, whether it be a leaf falling in the wind, whether it be a crisscross dance, a run, a walk. Everything has rhythm, everything has beats. So we want to keep the jump really low to keep I kind of want it to I just want it to stay low. I don't know if I have a better way of explaining it. Yeah, so let's just do the minimum hop. I guess it'd be like a passing position in a walk. Ba, 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 ba. I want to add a lot of exaggeration to these poses. And when I do that, I don't really want to be influenced by the originals. This looks pretty good so far. And that's where I feel that animating from imagination, it just makes me feel more creative. Oh, I like that. So yeah, now we're actually freestyling just like he was talking about in the tutorial. All right, so now lastly, I'm just going to add the compression. Now I still have some poses to go. Let's just see how this thing looks so far. Okay, not bad. Oh, I forgot the second jump. You know, it does look like the practice version now that I realize. Probably should have referenced the non-demonstration version. I think I don't need this second rest pose, because once he lands, he can just go straight into the compression and then right into the next flow. I think this rest pose is only needed when he's starting. So rest, compression, tension, rest, tension, compression. Yeah, so I don't need this pose right here. I don't need it. I like it, but I'm going to have to get rid of it. Because once he gets started, you don't need that. Yeah, that's much better. Much better. Boom. Boom. Yep, okay. I just want when he jumps for his head to come forward. That's pretty much it. So what you could do, and what I'm not going to do, is you could just take this frame and then squash it, and then just, use image manipulation, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not really a fan of that. Yeah, I'm not really feeling this down pose. I'm not feeling that, so let's delete this. Maybe we just got to substitute with something else. Okay, we can keep it going after that. Alright, cool. So you pretty much get the point. This way, It helps me to be more original with my animation. I feel more creative knowing that I didn't just take a reference and copy it onto a different character. I don't want anyone to know what reference I used. I want my creativity to be the main aspect of my work. All right, let's clean this up. So during the cleanup process, I actually bring back the original reference so that I can get the poses and dynamics right. The reason I like to animate from imagination initially is so that I can express myself creatively. I don't want to have to wait to build up a template, then express myself over that. Creative expression comes first. I practice, I warm up for drawing 3 times a week. The goal is to make an animation profile each time for a different motion. So if you were to able to make an animation profile 3 times a week for a whole year, that's 156 different motions you could memorize in just 1 year. You're gonna have a massive library of motion to reference for your work. Anyway, that's it from me, guys. I hope you learned something from this video. Special thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring this. I am definitely gonna go back to that course and make a motion profile for some more of those dances. That was a lot of fun. Check out the link in the description fast because the first 500 people will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. You can get started right now. Happy animating, guys. Peace.